The game's story opens with the main character, Tactics, joining a group known as Petrov's Shard. The group's main focus is to take down the Enyo Nomad Corporation, whom are essentially in control of the city Markov Geist. Overall, the story is fairly typical dystopian cyberpunk, with some really clever quips from characters like Belacqua, one of the fellow members of Petrov's Shard. A nice touch is that if you find yourself lost or need a refresher in some names and jargon, there are dossiers filled with info on locations, factions and concepts in the game's universe. I won't go into more detail to avoid spoilers, however I ultimately feel the story isn't where Frozen Synapse shines brightest. Frozen Synapse Prime's gameplay solely bases itself on committing to a plan and watching it fold out. You set up your troops' movements, their actions or lack thereof, and you end your turn, also known as priming your turn. The enemy AI, or player, then primes their turn and an outcome is shown. This is where you'll see your troops kick ass and take names, or have their names taken and, well, you guessed it, their asses kicked. The difficulty in Frozen Synapse Prime is unforgiving but fair. However, I did notice the enemy AI tends to follow the same pattern every retry. You can study these patterns in a replay of the game seamlessly after each mission, allowing yourself to find where you messed up or the enemy got the upper hand. While enemy patterns can be sort of understood in missions where you're protecting an area or escorting a VIP, in a straight up kill all enemies in the area type mission, it can feel a little less dynamic. While games like XCOM Enemy Unknown simplifies the concept of turn-based combat to areas of effects, cover dependency, and dice rolls, Frozen Synapse Prime offers a wide variety of actions each soldier can do. You can queue up multiple pathways with different actions, such as making your guy sweep by every room for enemies as he runs through a hall. You can save a guy who is about to return fire at a sniper by telling him to ignore any enemies he sees, duck behind cover, wait for the sniper's shot to miss, and then run to safety while the sniper takes the time he needs to line up the next shot. It's that level of control you can have over your soldiers and the ability to save them that isn't left to a dice roll like other turn-based games. That's what gives Frozen Synapse Prime its own feel of complete control over every situation. The game offers multiplayer and offline skirmish options that actually have a nice twist when it comes to the Vita. To compare the infrastructure to another platform, think of the way iOS and Android games offer the ability to come back to the game and take your turn. Frozen Synapse Prime has that feature, which is a thing I don't think I've actually seen on the Vita before. It's nice to be able to create a match, take your turn, then come back later to see if an opponent joined and if they've already taken their first turn. The game lets you know if you have any matches waiting your turn, allows you to find games, select quick match, or just create a game and take your first turn in a randomly generated map with balanced squads up to 4v4. When creating games, you can adjust things like map size, map shape, whether or not enemy soldiers will have to be in the line of sight to be visible on the map, and turn limits. You can set what soldiers your opponents will use, which hopefully everyone will be nice and mirror squads so everyone can be on the same page. With that in mind, each class is fairly balanced. Even putting a group of snipers up against a group of shotgunners will put both players at their own advantages and disadvantages. For aesthetics, Frozen Synapse Prime is a welcome change in colour palette and visuals. The change from the dark, deep blue environments of Frozen Synapse on the PC to the stark white polished steel look of Frozen Synapse Prime is pretty stunning, especially on a handheld. The framerate can get a little hitchy at times with things like explosions or panning across the map when multiple things are going on, but nothing that really draws from the experience.